I'm number 2 on the Funding Pips leaderboard right now at this point in time whilst recording this video. You can see right there, I'm number 2 and I am up $31,000 on my 300k Funding Pips account, and the trade was taken on gold. That is my main pair that I trade on my Funding Pips accounts. So let me break that down for you. It was a 1 to 10 risk to reward. Let's get right into it. So this was the trade right here. You can see simple 1 to 10 risk to reward. Now we did break structure to the upside right here. You can see that. And I did take buys, but I still took sells. Now I'm going to break that down for you. So in the Asia range right here, you can see gold was kind of just like moving down and moving up. It wasn't really doing much. But at that point in time, what I noticed was that the daily time frame, you can see we had a big bullish candle, then a big bearish candle, closed bearish, and then the next daily candle barely had a bottom wick, and it was like looking bullish and then kind of like coming to the bottom of it, almost looking like it wants to flip bearish and continue down to sweep the previous daily lows. So initially I was looking to buy, quite stupidly, even though I wanted to sell originally. So we had this big impulsive move up, and then we had this 5-minute inefficiency right there. Let me get rid of this crap here. So we had this 5-minute inefficiency right there, and once we started tapping into that, I actually took buys on gold. But looking at the 1-minute time frame, as my entry got triggered, literally right here. So we tapped the 5-minute, but my buy limit never got triggered because of spread. And then once we started coming down lower, my buy limit got activated. But then I started becoming really curious and hesitant about this trade because we started pushing out quite impulsively. And looking at the 1-minute time frame, we had actually broken structure to the downside again. So we had a market structure shift to the downside, which made me quite hesitant to continue taking the buys. So price started moving up, and I noticed we had this 1-minute inefficiency right here. So I closed off my buy, which was like from there, my buys over here, closed it in a small loss, and then as I'm trying to enter the sales from here, instantly price starts pushing down. So actually I got triggered a bit lower, and I put my stop loss above this wick high up here. Now another thing I noticed was going on to the 30-minute time frame or hourly, whichever one, it is the same thing, right? We had this 30-minute inefficiency right here, which initially we rejected and then pushed down, and then we started pushing up very impulsively. I don't know why this move happened. What was it? Actually, wait, I'll show you what was here on the left. So we started pushing up very impulsively right here, but we never closed above on the 30-minute or on the hourly time frame. So we had this inefficiency right here, and we never closed above. And then looking at the 3-minute time frame, this is something I saw afterwards, not at the point of this trade. But the reasoning for my trade was simply because the hourly and the 30-minute did not close above, and we had this market structure shift to the downside on the 1-minute time frame. But looking at the 3-minute, you can see this tiny 3-minute inefficiency right there, which we actually tapped into and then started moving down, which is a bit odd, but you know, it is what it is. That's how inefficiencies work, right? You never know which one's going to be tapped into, especially these types. But it happened. Very weird move, but tapped into the 3-minute. Wasn't really the reason for my trade, but we had a 30-minute inefficiency and an hourly inefficiency, which we actually closed back below. We never closed above it, so we closed below it, and we had this market structure shift to the downside. And then going over to the 1-minute time frame, we had this 1-minute inefficiency right there. And if you were to mark out your structural high and your structural low, so you can see this is where price stopped and then started moving down, and then restarted retracing. So you got your structure right here. This 1-minute lay literally perfectly in a premium. You can see the wicks actually came above premium and then started rejecting. So we had this premium inefficiency right there. And if you go to the daily time frame, like I said, the daily time frame, it was making a big top wick into this daily bearish candle, and then it started flipping bearish. It was like right at the bottom of almost flipping bearish, and it barely had a bottom wick at that point in time, and the previous daily low was unswept. And then also another reason was expecting the previous daily low to be swept, but what's right underneath it? An Asia range low that was unswept. So that was my next target down here. And then looking to the left again even further, we had this Asia low right here, unswept, and that was around 4417. So that's what I targeted. I actually went a bit lower just because I wanted to be number 1 on the leaderboard, because at that point in time, the number 1 on the leaderboard was like 31,400 or 31,000 something. But I needed 31,000 or above, but I actually ended up closing out at like 30,000 something. So I actually needed a bit more. But basically the guy who was number 1 on the leaderboard, I had to extend my TP a tiny bit more so I can try beat him. So I mean that's the only reason why I extended my TP, but my initial TP was because of this Asia range right here, the Asia range low that was unswept. So we had that, and then we had this hourly inefficiency that we closed back below, and then we had the 1 minute inefficiency that was created after a market structure shift to the downside, and it was in a premium zone, and we started rejecting it, took my sell, and then literally we started going straight down, and then we took out the previous daily low right here, and then we started actually retracing up. Now I was a bit hesitant, like okay, well, we are creating bullish structure, but what are we coming up to? So then looking at different time frames, I was trying to figure out, well, what's there, and then I saw, okay, well, we have the 30-minute inefficiency right there, which we actually didn't tap into, but I understood that, okay, if price is coming up, maybe it wants to tap into this 30-minute inefficiency, which again, it does lay in a premium, because now if you mark out your structural high and your structural low in this impulsive move down, you can see that 30-minute inefficiency also lays in another premium zone. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm just going to hold this trade because we have this 30-minute there. We didn't actually tap into it, not sure why. Then we started moving down, and then when we really started moving down right here, then I was like, okay, I'm going to hold this. And then this was also just before the pre-NY session as well, which is at 12 p.m. London time. So I was holding this, and then we started coming down, sweeping this Asia low. I was like, okay, well, we're still moving, and then we came very close. You can see right there, very close to this previous Asia low that was never swept down here. So I was like, okay, well, it was really close there. I should continue holding this. And then what happened was we started retracing up like this. And I was like, oh, okay, what are we retracing up into? Look at the 15-minute, look at the 30-minute. We had a 15-minute inefficiency right there. We have a 30-minute inefficiency right there, all of them. So it doesn't really matter, right? But we had this. And that's exactly what we retraced up into, and then we started rejecting. I was like, all right, cool. Now we should probably continue down and sweep that low on the left, which is the Asia lows. And that's exactly what we swept, and I got out of that trade, and that made me $30,000 on my funding pips accounts. So that is the whole trade breakdown, and look, proof is right there. Right there, you can see $31,000. There I am, number 2 on the funding pips leaderboard. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of gold XAU USD. Very clear points of liquidity, market structure, inefficiencies, and premium and discount. Look, these are the 4 major things I always talk about. Market structure, which started becoming bearish on the lower time frame up here, and then we had a premium inefficiency, so we had premium and discount, so premium zone, and we had inefficiency, and our liquidity points were the first Asia low right there, and then previous daily low, which acts as another liquidity point. Let me just mark it out just to make it a bit more easier to see. So let's just do that. So we had previous daily low, we had premium inefficiency, we had a market structure shift to the downside, and we have your Asia range liquidity. So market structure, inefficiencies, premium discount, and liquidity. So and also if you look all the way further to the left, we had further Asia lows that were unswept and previous weekly lows or whatever, something like that. Actually, let me actually check rather than speaking like an idiot. Yeah, here we go, right there. So we had previous weekly low as well. So all of that right there, that was a previous weekly low right there. So again, 4 concepts that present themselves in different ways, but essentially it's the same 4 concepts that I use in all of my trades. Market structure, premium and discount, inefficiencies, and liquidity. That's pretty much the only 4 things I use when it comes to trading. Now, obviously, in this, there's also another thing that I use, which is just understanding how the daily candles form, right? If we have a big bearish daily candle, and then the current daily candle barely has a bottom wick, and it's moving up into an inefficiency, it's probably making the top wick of the daily candle to then flip bearish and continue down. Like you can see, that candle ends up looking something like this. So, and you have this big top wick right here, and that's exactly where we are like manipulating up to then continue further down. So price needs to retrace up into certain levels like premium zones, whatever, and then we continue further down to take out the liquidity that was resting below. So we had this point of liquidity, and the previous daily low liquidity. All of those lows got swept, but understanding what the structure was looking like in the Asia session, I know normally I normally take trades in the pre-London or London session, but this was kind of too good to be true. I mean, no, it actually was true, but you get the point. It's like the setup was forming, the structure was telling me this wants to go down. I thought, all right, fine, I'll take this. And on top of that, this trade was also sent into my premium Discord. You can see right here, right there, you can see XAU USD 5-minute inefficiency. This is the exact point. Look, 6:53 a.m. right there during the Asia session. I sent this chart, 5-minute inefficiency there. Everyone understands we're looking to sell, and then boom. This was my TP hit on some of my other accounts, but then I actually continued holding this further, and you can see right there, that was my original TP 4416. So that's basically what I was holding it to, and yeah, price just completely melted, and we hit my TP for a 1 to 10 risk to reward, and that's how I made $30,000 on my Funding Pips account, and how I became number 2 on the Funding Pips leaderboard. So hope you enjoyed this breakdown. 4 concepts, just learn it. That is my ZFLOW model. That is how I trade. That is ZFLOW for you. Those are the 4 basic concepts that I integrate into my trading. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Comment, rate, subscribe. Love you guys, and Eid Mubarak, because today is Eid. So take care, everyone. Bye.